bought one on the sale. I know I'm a little late.
You are a little
And
late.
holy cow, they are a fun mech.
That is my go-to mech for farming money right now. Personally running the AC5, Ultra AC5 variant, and the output on that is phenomenal. The
It's
high
so
mounts
good.
are phenomenal. It's such a fun mech to play. I highly recommend it for anybody that does not have a Black Widow. Pick one up. You won't regret it. The Black Widow that I'm looking at, however, is bringing dual Gauss, dual medium lasers.
You know, that build also looks like a lot of fun to play. I almost have to try it out now that I've seen it in a couple comp matches so
Yeah,
far
the
today.
6R with the dual Gauss has been a very good choice, but those Warhammers themselves just are versatile. Dual
Oh,
Gauss,
absolutely.
dual PPC, dual machine gun on the Kodiak 3. We've seen this build used in the past. The machine guns exist solely to hike those Gauss rifles up to the top of the shoulders there, as we see right now. So a lot of Gauss on the watch.
Yeah.
So MDKZ is going to have to be careful, but they are moving their team up through the low grounds right now.
And MDKZ looks like they're a little bit more of a brawl deck here. They've got the UAX on the Kodiak, Black Knight with the standard large pulse mediums builds. And this Black Widow is running 2 Ultra AC5s, 2 large lasers, and 2 medium lasers. A little
Very
bit of a
unique
mixed
deck.
build there.
All right, so these guys have the option to move up this ramp to take the
And
high
there's a
ground.
hunchback standing right on the hill. The MDKZ has walked right around the corner, and the watch is waiting on the hill, and this Black Widow is stopping on the ramp. He's blocking the rest of his team from getting up. He needs to keep moving forward here.
Strike going down, but it looks like it might fall short there because they did charge up the hill. Black Widow leading the charge, taking quite a bit of dock fire in from that Kodiak 3. Black Knight moving in, but he's actually dropping himself off the edge.
And the
That's
Black
not
Widow
the best
dropped off as well.
choice.
Not good.
They need to maintain the high ground against these guys, especially if they are a more brawly deck. The only way back up is going to be this ramp up here. So that if they are going to drop down, they all need to do it together. You can't leave 2 guys up top like this taking massive amounts of fire on the movement. You know, if you're going to drop down, send your whole team down. Look at how much damage these Kodiaks are taking, while the rest of them are just trying to get closer. And
one mech
Veru has
has gone
destroyed
down.
Morthun. And they are finally now getting up into that brawl range, but they're going to just stop here and trade a little bit. Black
Yeah, and their
Knights are
Kodiak
not
is
meant
now
to trade.
down on the ground.
This Black Knight, you know, low slung hard points, it's not really meant to trade in a peaking fashion, and all he's doing now is getting in the way on the ramp
Yeah,
for
he's
the rest of
blocking
his
that
team.
Kodiak from getting back up.
Percentages for MDKZ are starting to tank. They have dealt some damage to the watch, but they really need to make a coordinated effort here. The Generoxide 1v3 over on the right side, doing whatever he can. In fact, 1v4, but he is getting pelted from all angles. If he gets away with his life, that's going to be a bit of a win for him. But another dead for MDKZ. And another one. Oh, man, it's not looking too
Yeah,
good.
it's
They
not
need to
looking
start
good at all.
dropping this damage hard. And this black Kodiak right up in front is healthy enough that... Oh, pelted the Black Widow with dual
And here
Gauss
comes
at
those
point
lights
blank range.
cleaning up a little bit here.
This might end up in an 8-0. That's rough. That is rough. MDKZ just making a very, I guess, sloppy push up that left
Absolutely.
side. Very staggered. Doesn't look like they really did anything as a team besides going in the same general direction. Look at all the UAVs up. Lots of information.
And they stuck together, but unfortunately they stuck together, but they didn't stick together on the same level of terrain, so you had some guys dropping off. And then even the guys going up, you had a couple different instances where folks were going up on the ramp and went under some enemy fire when they were coming up the ramp and hesitated or backed up or stopped on that ramp and prevented the rest of their team from getting up. We had a couple times where we saw MDKZ players blocking the ramps, and that is, in a brawl, the worst thing you can do. You're preventing your own team from coming to help you.
Absolutely. I do think those 2 Kodiaks staying up top, though, was big. Just seeing the amount of damage they take and ultimately losing one of
Absolutely.
them just on movement. I mean, even if they're playing like an Overwatchy role trying to suppress the enemy, it's not accomplishing much. You're really just up there taking like 6 versus 1 damage and just getting pelted on the entire movement. If you're going to do that, if you're going to stay as a team, everybody stays up top or everybody drops down. You know, you can see moving power positions, and they have been used effectively, where everybody travels together on the same level and they're all shooting as they go. But you've never seen a successful like 2 guys up, 6 guys down strategy. And really that's going back to the drawing board, going back to the fundamentals, and just teaching your guys everybody up or everybody down. You can't do the staggered stuff. Even if one guy stayed up, that one guy's gonna die, and he's not gonna output enough damage to make it worth it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Those two Kodiaks, I mean, one of them only doing 66 damage. He needed to get down, and that having 100 tons, 200 tons up there, essentially getting completely pelted and not outputting enough damage. That's enough right there to cost you the match. Let alone be an 8-0 sweep like that. That alone, even if they did better, that would have cost them the match right there. Losing 200 tons and having a combined like 200 damage between them.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that. So it's fixable though. Everything we've seen tonight that's gone wrong is fixable, and that's why we're here. That's why competitors compete. We're figuring out what is going wrong, and we're fixing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, the number one thing that a competitor wants to do is get better.
Absolutely.
And I think if for nothing else you can say about this tournament a lot of different things, the one thing you can say is there is endless opportunity to get better with all the matches you have, the level of competition you're playing, from brand new teams to some of the best teams, if not the best teams in the game. You just have such an opportunity here. If you're a new team, if you're an old team, if you're experienced, if you're, just starting out, whatever, you have such an opportunity to get better if you just play through the tournament, do your best, watch some of these videos if you can. You can mute band it if you want. I do it sometimes too. But learn from them and get better. And I think both these teams have the opportunity to do that tonight, and I hope they do.
You learn more from getting your butt kicked than you do from winning matches. And
Absolutely.
I speak firsthand. When I first started as a drop caller for the Marine Mechs, there was like a chain and command rotation, or something happened, and I'm just like, I'll give it a shot. And I got my butt kicked. Kicked. But you know what? I kept doing it, and I learned from my mistakes. And then I helped teach my team and help them learn from their mistakes. And we've actually done pretty well. Now, I'm not saying we're the best team in the game. We're far from it. But we're way better. I don't think anybody will argue that we're not way better than we were a year ago, let alone 2 years ago.
I like that old guy rant there. Back when I was your age, I was just starting out as a drop caller.
Yeah.
Had to walk uphill both ways to make my calls.
In the snow. Yes.
Playing barefoot in the snow.
And then you got the guys out there saying, back in my day when we played comp, we had to do sync drops to be able to even do matches against each other. And I'm just like, whoa, Grandpa, that's crazy. But the game is growing. Comp is growing. Teams are growing, players are growing, everybody's getting better, and that's what we like to see. So obviously, after the tournament's over, you've got third-party leagues that you guys can go play, MRBC, NBT, whatever tournaments might be going on. All these choices out there, definitely take advantage of them. The game is more robust than I think a lot of people realize, and I think this tournament's really bringing a lot of light to that. I've heard a lot of people saying, like, man, I didn't know comp was that interesting, and they're addicted now, and that's awesome. So we're going to be seeing a lot of new teams playing in some of these leagues, and it's going to be fantastic seeing them grow, and it's going to give us as casters a lot more to talk about. So that's great. That is fantastic.